Coyote was sitting on top of Sonoma Peak, and the earth was all covered with water. He got there from across the ocean on his raft of tules and split sticks. A feather comes floating up from the west, too. "Hi, who are you?" And the feather doesn't answer. So Coyote tells him all about his families and friends and what's happening. And the feather leaps up and says, "I'm Falcon, I'm Weck Weck, your grandson. Wow." So they talk every day, and after a while, Coyote Man notices Frog Woman, always just jumping out of hand. But the water started to go down after 4 days, and it took her longer to leap into the water, so Coyote Man caught her. And when he caught her, imagine his surprise. She was his own wife from over the ocean. Small world. Then Coyote Man took a bunch of feathers of different kinds to the top of Sonoma Peak and threw them into the air, and the wind carried them off and scattered them around, and the next day there were people all over the land.
She's been, in so many ways, a completely fresh and original poet. From the beginning, she's taught people lightness of touch. She taught them the way spiritual and philosophical investigations of what it is to be present in a moment, and done it, how to model that in art, and how to do it with lightness, openness to experience, playful relation to language, and one feels always in it also an ability to treat surface and depth at the same time.
This is for the late poet Czeslaw Milosz, who loved this poem. He put it in his anthology, The Book of Luminous Things. It's very, very 70s, called Destruction. First of all, do you remember the way a bear goes through a cabin when nobody is home? He goes through the front door. I mean, he really goes through it. Then he takes the cupboard off the wall and eats a can of lard. He eats all the apples, limes, dates, bottled decaffeinated coffee, and 35 pounds of granola. The asparagus soup cans fall to the floor. Yum. He chomps up Norwegian crackers stashed for the winter, and the bouillon, salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, onions, potatoes. He rips the green Tara poster from the wall, tries the Coleman mustard, spills the ink, tracks in the flour, goes upstairs and takes a shit, opens the waterbed, eats the incense and drinks the perfume, knocks over the Japanese tansu and the Persian miniature of a man on horseback watching a woman bathing, knocks shelter, whole earth catalog, planet drum, northern mists, truck tracks, and women's sports into the oozing waterbed mess. He goes downstairs and out the back wall. He keeps on going for a long way and finds a good cave to sleep it all off. Luckily, he ate the whole medicine cabinet, including stash of LSD, peyote, psilocybin, amanita, benzedrine, Valium, and aspirin. The mooching doe, munching the fallen apples from the tree outside the door, doesn't even bother to move. When I approach her, suggesting she exit, which she does, apple still in mouth, bounding across the overgrazed wild sweet peas. About now, tiny iridescent pieces of abalone. So intimate, these overcast days. Home is the moment. The quail arrive. Fact-checking. In 1962, when I was leaving India with Gary Snyder, I saw a necklace called a beggar's necklace made of semi-precious stones that I wanted. Gary said, yes, you can buy it if you learn the real names of all the stones. Never pass up an opportunity for self-education. The New Yorker magazine is doing a profile of Snyder, and I told the reporter Dana Goodyear this story and showed her the necklace. A New Yorker fact checker, Chris Jennings, called me up yesterday and wanted to know how many different stones there were in the necklace. Dana wrote that there were dozens. I went and got the necklace and counted the different kinds of stones over the phone to the fact checker. 8 different kinds of stones: red, orange, green, milky white, blue, mossy green, mottled brown, glittery rust. So what about those many sheets of drifting time and intense, hoping to pin down the elusive tone that makes a poem? Peripheral from the sidelines, looking in from the edge. Always give yourself a quick escape route at assemblies of people. Sit near an exit. Be on the fringe, able to drift away from the front and center places where power plays a dangerous role on Earth, the only place we can live. Head full of springs, wind, pollen, self-radicalized through random reading. Did you do this to me? I think when you start a piece of writing, you locate yourself. You give respect to the place where you are, to where your landscape is, what time it is, and then you begin this act of writing. It's like all of a sudden you have empty space, and then you address yourself to that empty space and you identify where you are in this intersection of time, location, and your act of writing. Night Palace. The best thing about the past is that it's over. When you die, you wake up from the dream. That's your life. Then you grow up and get to be post-human in a past that keeps happening ahead of you. Emptiness is the thing we are full of, and everything you see is empty, full of it, packed full of everything empty. And we are in it. That's what we experience, the grand and manifest and unborn live chaos. Okay, that's enough. Thank you.